a platform created by traders for traders. Hi trader! Today we're going to talk about Fibonacci and the AfterShock strategy, how they are connected and how to use them. The AfterShock strategy, sometimes shortened to AS, a shock, or even ASH, is designed to operate during the corrective wave of the main impulse. It involves averaging a position through 3 buy orders, with each subsequent purchase increased to lower the break-even line. The break-even line is a visual line on the chart showing where the position becomes profitable or remains in loss, as well as the exact break-even point. The Fibonacci grid shows key retracement levels, around which price often reverses direction, and that's exactly what we need. Our main goal with this strategy is to catch the bounce and profit. But how do we do that, you ask? Surely we won't be placing manual buy orders at every level and then selling manually. That would be time-consuming and inefficient. Our platform solves this problem. We offer a strategy called FIBO. It automatically places buy and sell orders, and it doesn't reverse funds in advance, only when the price approaches the levels you've selected. That's what sets our trading strategies apart from traditional bots. The trader configures the strategy manually for each specific trade. Partial automation removes most of the routine while still allowing for a full trade, even if you're away from your computer. However, we strongly recommend that you monitor the trade and stay in control of the situation. Now let's talk about how to choose a coin, trade it, and place the FIBO grid. The minimum daily trading volume should be $50–70 million, with $100 million or more being optimal. These values can change, so we recommend using volume sorting in the coin list and working with coins at the top of the list. The minimum delta for a classic AfterShock setup is considered to be 30%. Some use a lower delta, but this is highly discouraged. The optimal delta is between 30% and 70–100% growth. We also advise against using overly large Fibonacci grids. The distance between the first and second levels could end up being 30% or more. Backtesting is a crucial filter that eliminates many coins. It involves checking the coin's historical performance to see how well it fits the AfterShock model. You need to review all growth waves that fit the ASH criteria and make sure the system performed as expected, that is, all entries closed successfully. If the history shows cases where FIBO entries failed and didn't recover, that coin likely belongs on a blacklist and should not be traded with this strategy. If there is no history to perform a reliable backtest, it's best to skip the asset. You need to find an upward wave and click the FIBO button. The grid will be applied automatically, however you prefer. The grid should be positioned so that the wave's top is set to 1 and the bottom to 0. These are the levels you'll be trading from, as price tends to bounce from them. In the Settings window, you'll see the price levels and a field to enter the amount you want to allocate to the strategy. This amount will be distributed across the levels according to the selected parameters. The safest configuration for deposit allocation is 20% on the first level, 30% on the second, and 50% on the third. In this setup, purchases are made sequentially, but in most cases, the price bounces from the very first level and sells at the designated take profit. There are also more aggressive configurations that distribute the amount at each level, based on a system of linear equations. In those cases, it's not possible to know the exact allocation for each level before the buy orders are placed. However, based on our experience, the amounts of the first two levels will be larger than in the 20, 30, 50 setup. You can also place FIBO levels manually on marked zones within the growth wave, meaning that buy orders will be triggered from the areas you've selected. Before the first purchase is made, you must stay near your computer to monitor the trade. If the price starts falling, reverses before reaching your buy levels, and closes the dropout, you should deactivate the strategy and replace the grid from lower levels. If everything goes according to plan and the trade opens at your marked level, you should define the sell zones. You'll need to identify the dropout and sell most of the position just below that level. The remaining portion can be held for the internal dropout. Once the price bounces and the dropout is covered, you can set an additional stop loss via the FIBO settings to avoid getting stuck in the position. Keep in mind you're working within a downward move, which is likely to continue. This is a fairly safe approach that allows you to re-enter from lower levels, even if your stop loss is triggered. However, since part of the position was sold in the sell zone, the resulting stop loss would be breakeven, or you might even end up with a small profit. If you opened a position on the first level, and the price went lower but didn't reach the second level, you need to close the trade at breakeven, just below the first level. Remember the key rule: if something is not going according to plan, exit at breakeven, or if the situation is turning against you, accept the loss and move on. If you opened positions at both the first and second levels, identify the nearest external drop and place 75% of your sell orders just below it. The rest can be placed below the internal dropout. If the price falls further and you end up opening positions at the first, second, and third levels using the 20, 30, 50 configuration, the break-even line will sit between the second and third levels, meaning you'll reach break-even or even profit fairly quickly. Your homework: find suitable upward waves and try placing the FIBO grid on them. If you run into any problems, feel free to write in our platform chat or the general group. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.